Hey everybody, it's Money Matters. I'm Mickey.
And I'm Marshall. How you doing today, Mickey?
I'm doing great. I know you're doing great too because you let me know that you had a pretty special meeting recently, and I'm so excited for you to tell me all about it and everyone else. So I
Yeah.
got my cup of coffee. I'm
Mhm.
going to sit back and I just want you to tell the
Mhm.
tale.
Yeah. Well, this is a little different than our normal podcast, but I thought it was
Mhm.
cool. It was a cool experience. I had a good friend of mine, and he has two sons, and I don't know, for whatever reason, he thought it'd be fun to have me talk to his sons, and so it's really about educating them on finances and money and what money means. And so, 2 years ago, I met his first son, and we went through the conversation and had a talk. And my friend, my client, remembered stuff I told his 12-year-old son. And so this year he said, "Hey, my youngest son is turning 12. Would you be willing to sit down and talk to him?" And I said, "Of course, because what I learned from this is, a lot of the big words we use, do people really understand what I'm saying? Right? When I say
I know a lot of
invest,
times I'm just like, what the heck is he talking about? I have no idea, but I'll just let him keep going.
yeah, but you ignore me for other reasons too, right? You try. Just kidding. So as I sat there with him, the 12-year-old, and his dad, I just, tried to simplify it in terms, right? So
Yeah.
both of the boys saved, they earned $1,000 through like odd jobs, cutting grass,
A month?
washing cars. $1,000. No, they saved
Oh,
$1,000 through the summer.
I'm like, wow.
No,
That's
they saved
pretty
$1,000 through the
good.
summer of their 12th year, which is pretty cool. And now their dad's encouraging them to put it to work because you've seen the
Yeah.
compound effect of putting money to work early,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that was the idea. So I'm sitting there and I had some ideas about how to approach this, and I couldn't remember what I had said the last time, but I was just thinking about how to simplify this. And so I couldn't say we're going to invest for your retirement. His dad actually said that we're going to invest for your retirement. I'm like, what? How could a 12-year-old relate to the idea of, number one, invest? What does that mean?
Right.
Two, to retirement? What is
Mm-hmm.
retirement?
Yeah.
So
I can maybe see the invest part now, maybe, because
maybe,
they're kind of that minded, but the retirement
yeah,
part would be hard to grasp.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
I'm
And so
just now starting to grasp that, that whole concept of retirement. It's like,
yeah,
I think I'm a little late.
you're not at that age yet where you would
I
think about it
know.
in
Of
your
course.
30s and all that.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be surprised how I converted the word invest to buy something. What are you gonna buy? Okay, and
Mm.
then I converted retirement into financial freedom. What would it mean to be financially free? Okay, and you don't have to wait till retirement age, which is
Right.
65, 67, whatever. You don't have to wait. Do it early. You're starting at 12 years old.
I'm just thinking about when I was 12. I remember thinking about people who were 30, and I thought, oh, my Lanta, they
I
are
know.
old. Those
I
people are
know.
ancient, 30-year-olds.
I know.
And
It's
then I
funny.
became 30.
Sometimes I'll think back on how old my parents were, or my grandparents at my age now, and they look so
Right.
old.
It's like, yeah.
I
So I can
know. I
only
know.
imagine.
So
So
anyway, I
break it down
converted the
for me.
word. He's got $1,000, and so I asked
Okay.
him. I said, "What are we going to buy with that? What do you want to buy with that? Right? Because the idea is you want to buy something. You want to buy something that's going to get more valuable in time. More valuable in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I asked him. You could take part of that $1,000, and you could go out today and buy yourself an ice cream. Buy yourself an ice cream cone for a couple bucks.
Big
I don't
old
even know
ice
what
cream cone.
ice cream cone costs. Okay, the question is tomorrow, what would that, if you left it out in the sun or you ate it or whatever, what would it be worth tomorrow? He said nothing. He said zero, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. So let's say, what if you bought a bike? You spent part of your $1,000 and you bought yourself a new bike or even a used bike, right? You buy yourself a bike. Is it going to get more valuable, in a year? Will it be more valuable after you've wrecked it and dumped it in the ditch and all of
Oh
that,
my
right?
gosh. Marshall.
The point is, it's going to decline in value. Then I mentioned cars. I said, "Do you like cars?" He's like, "No, he's not really into cars." I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out the hook.
Yeah.
What's the hook for this
Yeah.
kid? I found the hook, and I'll tell you what it is in a
Oh,
second.
I
So I
can't
talked
wait.
about
I'm sitting here
cars.
going, what could be the hook?
So we talked about cars, and so some of them will hold their value, but most of the time, if we were to go buy you a car right now, we couldn't buy it for $1,000. Hey, I bought my first car for $300. Did you know that about me? I did,
I
but that
didn't
was a
even
long
know
time.
they had cars back when the earth was cooling.
I know it was a long time ago, but
$300.
$300. Anyway,
Wowza.
so
What
I was
kind of
thinking
car
about
was that?
buy for $1,000. What a mess that'd be, right? But
That's funny.
anyway, we talked about in most cases, the price, the value of that car is going to go down,
Yeah.
right? And so as we're talking, we're just chit chatting and stuff. You know, he plays baseball. Matt, you think about what's important to a 12-year-old kid, right?
Mhm.
Baseball,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I said, "Do you have baseball cards?"
I was wondering if it's going to be trading cards. So, okay.
Baseball cards. He says, "Yeah, I do." I said, "What's your most valuable? What's the best card you got right now?" And he's got Otari. I don't know if I said the name right, but he's a Dodger pitcher. He's from Japan. And anyway, I mean, yeah. I said, "So what'd you pay for that?" And he said, "I don't know, maybe $2. I got it in a pack." I'm like, "Oh, really?" So the question is, what is it going to be worth in the future?
Yeah.
And so I asked him, I said, "Tell me an old baseball player that you think a trading card would be valuable." And Mickey, you might even know this name. Ricky
hope so.
Henderson.
Who?
Ricky Henderson.
Oh, I've seen Ricky Henderson play from the A's.
Yeah, there
Thank
you go.
you.
All right.
Oh, girl knows something.
Right. So
here.
I asked him, I said, "What do you think Ricky Henderson's rookie card is worth?" Okay, so I pulled out my phone. I did a quick search, just a quick glance at it.
Yeah.
His rookie card is worth $180,000.
No way. Oh, I just got chills.
That's what the quick search I did. I don't know if it was a special series or something like that. So the kid was like, "Oh my gosh, somebody paid $2 for that or 50 cents for it." I mean, Ricky was 30 years ago, right?
Yeah. And got a stick of gum.
I know, and you got a stick of gum.
I don't think you get a stick of gum anymore.
Exactly. So anyway, he started realizing maybe I could buy something that will grow in value.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we started talking about, okay, this account, this $1,000, what are we going to buy with it? Because I had him hooked and he was hooked, right? So we started thinking about what we're going to buy. Okay, we're going to buy stocks. Now we're not going to buy one stock, but let me talk about one stock. Apple Computer. I said, "Do you know Apple?" "Yeah." I said, "Dad, what do you got in your pocket?" I got an iPhone." "Okay, how much is one share of Apple stock today?" And I explained the idea that, you know, when you buy one share, it's like a piece of a pie and you get a piece of that pie. You become an owner. You're an owner. You own it, right? And so you become a piece of the pie, but the pie has like millions of shares. There's millions of pieces of the pie, which is fine. You get your little piece, but for like $206, I think, right? So he could buy like almost 5 shares. He could buy 5 shares of Apple. And so I asked him, "Do you think your dad just spent a fortune on that iPhone 16 in his pocket? Do you think the price of that stock's going to go up over time?" And he said, "It's going to go up," right? And so anyway, I got him to understand the value of buying an ice cream cone or an old bike versus, you know, a trading card. That's a collectible. The probability, the chance that's going to turn into the Ricky Henderson card is very low.
Few and far between. Yeah.
But I, got the idea of trying to buy something of value over time.
Yeah.
And so then we just started talking more generally about we're going to buy a group of stocks together in a fund like the S&P 500, and we're going to keep this growing over time. So anyway, I simplified it, right? I simplified the idea of investing, asset allocation. We're going to all this stuff. I didn't use any of those terms. I just said, what are we going to buy, right? So that was the first thing. The second thing was related to, his dad mentioned about retirement. I'm like, 12-year-old's not going to understand retirement. And so we started talking about what would it mean to be financially free, not have to work, not have to go to the job, and you had money coming in, right? Mm-hmm. And so and I don't
go to the ball games every day.
Yeah. Well, I had another idea with him, and I don't know how well it landed, but I back in the day I did they had a career day at school for my son in second grade. Did you ever do career day? Mm-hmm. Or you were the teacher, right? You were the teacher when they came in.
Yeah.
So I did career day with my son Morgan when he was in second grade, and so I came in. I was wearing my business suit and everything like that, and the teacher and all the second graders around me, and one of the kids says, "Do you wear a uniform to work?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm wearing my uniform right now. I got a business suit on and a thing like that, and I don't have a name tag, but I have my uniform on." And then some of the parents would give out business cards. So my business card was I gave each of the kids $1. They're like 22 kids. I gave them all $1, right?
Buying your fans there.
I know. And so what I said was, that $1, you guys, and then I had a little bag of apple seeds. I said, these seeds, if you plant them in the ground, you plant them, right? Over time, you water, you take care of it, and the tree is going to grow to an apple tree. And eventually, it's going to get to the size where you get other apples off of it, right? And second graders get that. You plant the seeds, you see it grow. You get apples, and
Yeah.
then you can sit under the shade of the tree. You can relax and all that. So I was telling the 12-year-old boy, and I didn't tell about the second grade, but I was just talking about $1 is a seed that you plant in the ground, and over
Right.
time it grows. And financial freedom means you could sit under that tree in the shade and sometimes pick that fruit off and eat it and everything like that. And so back to the second grade story. So Mrs. Rose was the teacher. I remember her. We knew her well. She lived in the neighborhood with us, so we knew her personally. And so I gave all these kids $1. And at the end of my thing, they were all wanting to give me the $1 back. I said, no, you guys, that's for you. So what happened was one of the kids took the $1 home, went to his mom and said, hey, Mom, I want to go plant this in the backyard.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh.
So the second grader remembered my story and wanted to plant the $1 in the backyard. So,
I love that. That is so adorable. Oh my gosh.
Funny,
I think
funny.
you missed your calling. You probably should have been an educator.
Oh, no,
You're
no,
surrounded
no,
by us.
No,
you know,
I'm missing one key element.
What is that?
Element. Patience.
I knew you were going to say that. It is so true. And you know what? That is the one thing I do not have, but I did fine. I sucked it up buttercup every single day.
Yeah.
No,
So, but anyway, right here now, I mean, we're going to put it out for 12-year-olds. You know, I shared this with my wife that we were going to do this podcast on what I learned from talking to a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, I think there's a lot of people that are going to want to listen to this because they want to know if they can understand what a 12-year-old boy can understand.
Well, I understand it so much better now. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, no, I always like it when people explain it in a way that's much more. And I'm not saying dumb it down because that wasn't dumbing it down. That was just making it more digestible. You know, it was like, okay, I totally get this now. That resonates with me, and that's really great because you made it relatable. And that's what I think. That's all people want, and people tend to be a little bit reticent, if you will, to jump in to like try to figure it all out and work with an investment advisor and all that because they don't get all the gobbledygook that's being thrown at them. You know it because that's what you do all day, every day. But that's one of the things that I really appreciate about you is that you're not dumbing it down. You're just making it relatable. Anyway, I'm just so glad you had this great chat with this young man and that it went really well and that he's now investing for his future. That's so exciting. So did he have to call
anyway, thanks for listening to that.
Yeah, I was going to ask if he actually reached out to you for a free consultation because you do offer those to people. So,
I mean, I didn't know exactly how much money he had. It was free, and he had $1,062. And I kind of knew in that range. But to talk, it doesn't cost anything to have a meeting and sit down and figure things out. Love to talk to people. Love to hear their story. I'm always surprised to hear people's story. It's wonderful.
I love the stories because you tell me the stories and it's like, yay, story time with Marshall. I love it.
I'm not a second grade teacher. I mean, I try to simplify, but I'm not story time.
That's for sure. I keep waiting for you to pull out the book and hold it up, and no, you weave a great tale. Luckily, they're all true. So true stories. Well, thanks so much for sharing this with us today, Marshall. And hey, those of you watching, if you're interested in chatting with Marshall, look for the link below in the description and schedule a free consultation today. He's excited to chat with you and learn about your story. See you next time. Bye, everybody.